Hey everybody, Molly O'Dell here with another great episode of Story House. Today I'm here with the one and only Seth O'Byrne, and he has a story up his sleeve that I cannot wait for you guys to hear. Seth, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Okay, so whenever you sell a house, there is always a story behind it.
Sure.
This one though, may be my favorite.
Yep.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so in social media, one of my favorite things is to talk about the story of the property. And I think in Southern California, our architectural landscape is made up mostly of production houses. So in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, KB Homes, Toll Brothers, they built a lot of houses that looked very similar to each other.
Yeah.
Rancho Santa Fe was a place where there was very few, if not really almost any production houses, which means each house is a custom home with its own story. And this is, I think, one of the cooler stories in Rancho Santa Fe. Hacienda del Corazon, 6900 Via del Charro, is a property just outside of the covenant, which means there's no rules and restrictions to the number of horses you can own, all that stuff. But that kind of freedom that you have in that property extends a lot more than just the fact that it's outside of the covenant. This property was built basically with two people's minds based on what drove them, what excited them. One family was the Daly family, which if you're in San Diego and you drive anywhere east, you've driven on property that at one point was owned by the Dalys.
Yeah.
They're one of the most important landowners in the county. And the other is the Cunningham family. Both of them were newly single, and their second marriages were to each other. So the Cunningham family, known for Cunningham BMW, and the Daly family, known for Daly Construction and the Daly Ranch, married, and when they married, they built this property, Hacienda del Corazon, which translates to House of the Heart, or State of the Heart.
I love that. I love how it's coming together of two people falling in love with each other, and you know the couple very
Yep.
well, and they're still madly in love with each other and this home.
Absolutely, and the architecture itself, why I think it's so interesting, is the marriage of two different families that had two different lives and making one home together is a concept that you find throughout the entire house. Because there's this marriage of different cultures, different ideas, different design principles, different philosophies that all converge in this one home that make it so special. So the saloon, which there's a 2,000 square foot saloon in the house.
Which I think people are having a hard, until I saw it, I was like, wait, a real saloon? And it is a full-blown
Yes.
saloon inside the house.
Yes, there's a stage, there's a bar, there's a dance area. The property, that saloon was a recreation, a replica of the oldest bar in Arizona, actually in Prescott, Arizona. And so that's a mainstay to as a main function of the property. The floors were from American President Madison's home that he grew up in Virginia.
Shipped over here?
Shipped over here to be put into a saloon that's a replica from Arizona, the oldest bar in Arizona. And the architecture and the design is so incredibly authentic to Spanish colonial revival in Mexico. The designer and the architect and the builder all flew to Mexico, to 100, 200, 300-year-old cities to find out how people really did it in mainland Mexico. And they had the ironwork and the stone statues. Either they were actual old statues from 200-year-old Mexican cities, or they were made to be perfect exact replicas. And so what's so cool about it is the House of the Heart was really meant to talk about these two very important San Diego families becoming one, but the culture, the architecture, and the design, every single room has some unbelievable story that's hundreds of years in the making, which I think is why it's such a special house.
That is such a special home. And I've been inside of it, and you walk in, and I mean, it's hard to catch all the details. I want to spend days in there just to pick out all the details in the home.
Absolutely. Well,
it's amazing.
It's 15,000 square feet, so it's going to take a while.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So 15,000 square feet, 3 acres of land, horse corral, amazing movie theater, which is a little bit of a replica of an old Western movie theater. It has the copper ceilings and all these kind of rich reds and browns. So it's very cool. And what's interesting about it as well is, the Daly family has been here since the 1800s.
Wow.
That's how important they are for our small city. And, not that much before when the Daly family made their name here in San Diego, California was part of Mexico. So to have Mexican architecture in Rancho Santa Fe with a family that has so much historical importance in the city is really cool. It's something you obviously have to see to believe, but it's pretty incredible.
Well, Seth, if somebody wants to check out this house, should they reach out to you? Who do they reach out to?
Yeah, Hacienda del Corazon is our single property website, which has our videos, which I know you've seen on Instagram and Facebook, and all of our photos and the descriptions of the property. We were just featured in the Wall Street Journal.
For this house?
For this house, in the mansion section. They love the story about the American presidents reclaimed wood floors. And so they just had to do a story about it because it was just such a cool story. But I would go to haciendadelcorazon.com. Or of course, they can always reach out to us on otluxury.com as well.
Oh my gosh. Well, Seth, I am always amazed by your listings, and this one is blowing my mind. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And if you are interested in getting your house featured on Story House, reach out to us at info@storyhousesd.com. Until next time, you guys.